Where's it been, folks? Where's it bloody been? Blackburn Rovers put on a performance to, of course, end the season in tip-top shape, smashing Huddersfield Town at Ewood Park 5-2. We'll take a look at all the drama and much more next. Right, folks, back once again with another match review. This time looking back at Blackburn Rovers' latest match out of the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, swap what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, smash your subscribe, hit your bang up tape, all things Blackburn Rovers' latest Championship related, football related. We're going to be back here next bloody season. That's right, folks. Rovers are finally mathematically safe as houses, of course, for next season's Championship campaign after a demolition job over Huddersfield Town at Ewood. We'll get to that in just a second. Of course, a big shout out to the VIPs. Who are they? I'm talking about the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your continued support. And also thank you for the guys that stopped by on the old watch along earlier today to see Rovers go through, of course, and seal the deal. 5-2 in the end. That's right. Let's get a look at it then, shall we? A hat-trick from Adam Armstrong will take the headlines. Gets himself right back in the thick of things. For, of course, top goal scorer out in the Championship. I think he's still got too much to do to realistically challenge Ivan Toney. But it does put a couple of extra million on the old transfer ticket. As, of course, he bids probably farewell to Rovers in a couple of matches' time. He's got 2 left to say goodbye. But he'll take a hat-trick ball with him today with the goals coming on the 8th minute. Scrappy-dappy-doo header, of course, but they all count in the end. And then a couple of goals in the second half to give himself the 3. Of course, Nyambe, though, he got himself a big fat OG, and Koroma made a little bit interesting for Huddersfield. Also, goals from Brereton and Gallagher put on a real barnstorming performance. And actually, look at the stats. It was a possession-based football for Huddersfield today. 57% possession for them, 43% for us. We had 16 shots on the day, 12 on target. Wow, wow, wee, wow. A lot of fans slamming the young goalkeeper Schofield, but guess what? 12 shots on target and only 5 in the back of the net. Saving that's what? If you do the maths, that's saving 7. Point blank, of course. As for Kaminsky, just the 1 on target today. 2 in the back of the net. You do the maths, of course, with the OG, I guess. So they 1 shot on target, goes in the back of the net. And Nyambe's big fat OG. Let's take a look at, of course, the old match ratings for you. Of course, first of all was the starting 11s. Rovers, Kaminsky between 6, Bell, Lennon, Harbour-Bellis and Nyambe made up the back 3 there. We had Travis, Evans and Rothwell in a midfield trio, and a good one as well. If we can keep that 3 there, you know what, we could have the energy, we could have the urgency back. Of course, Gallagher, Brereton and Armstrong down the middle. As for my match ratings for this starting 11, we had Kaminsky with a 6. Didn't get too much out of him, to be fair, but when called upon, he was there. But unfortunately, one shot, 1 on target, 1 in the back of the net is not great. But I give him a 6. I thought Amari Bell played really well today, and of course, after that performance, you would start him in the final 2 games of the season. Or definitely start him the next time around. I thought he was very, very good on that left hand side. Lennon as well. Okay, 7 for him. Harbour-Bellis with a 6 and Nyambe with a 6. Is this the beginning of the end for Nyambe? Of course, unfortunately, it looks like it could very well be. Yeah, an old Joel, but you know what? On the right side of a 5-2 win, ain't too bad. We went into Travis in midfield, very, very good. Evans and Rothwell, all 7s for me. Good, clinical, doing what they did, grafting, running, energy, heartbeat. That's what we want to see. I think Rothwell was a little bit unlucky not to score himself today. So more of that as you please. Again, I would be looking. I'd be licking my lips here if I was Mo. I'm saying getting Rothwell signed up. Of course, with Dak out, with the likes of Armstrong going, you could already start to pin a huge bit more responsibility on his shoulders for next year. It could be his year to step up to the plate. So I'll be looking at doing that. Travis as well. I don't know what Evans' contract situation is. I keep forgetting to look at that. As up top, Gallagher was good today. Got a goal as well. Armstrong, of course, clinical with a 9. And Brereton also with an 8. He could have had more, should have had more. I was actually raging at him early doors for missing a gilt-edged chance, but he got the goal in the end. So good for them. As for Huddersfield Town, they're coming here with Schofield with 2 sticks to follow. Keo and Saar at the back there alongside Pipper as well. Hogan Itting as well in midfield. O'Brien with the, of course, consolation goal slash setup. Koroma did get himself on the goal score sheet. Bakuna as well and Ward as well. It's been a long time since we beat these guys, so I'm very, very happy to get over the line with the big fat W in the end. Let's take a look at some of the other stats and figures then for you. Gallagher, Rothwell, Brereton all with assists today. Armstrong also on the receiving end of assists. So a very very, very good day for Armstrong. If there was a fantasy league for this, he would be getting in the points. We did see cameos from the youngsters, Dolan, Buckley and Elliott coming on to try and change it up, but unfortunately not good enough to add to the tally there. As you can see, total shots 16 for us. We talked about that already, and possession as well. They had more dribbles than we did. Aerial duels were dominated by Rovers, and again more tackles and of course more corners as well. Of course, one of the goals resulting in a goal as well, so that was good to see. As for shot grid and all that kind of stuff, here you go. They're represented, Huddersfield represented in the blue, Rovers represented in the orange. And as you can see, very, very busy they were today. The back line. They had 619 touches compared to our 514. They had more passes than us as well, 438 to our 352. And of course down the foot here, you can see where the shots took place. 7 in the penalty area, 8 are outside the box, and 1 scrappy dappy do goal. So yeah, pretty good day at the office for the Rovers attacking department. But again, we'll still work to be done. And again, let's just get the season over and done with, see who remains, and then more of this. And I guess let's go big screen. Let's go big screen because the words out of the local journalists is the fact that looks like Mowbray will be here next season. And yes, I would like to see a change. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I'm going to back the Rovers, back the board, back the manager, whatever. Just going to support the team, and hopefully they get it right. They get it right this summer. I know they need a lot to line up for them to get it right. They need the stars to come around. They need to have the right, perfect weather for a year. Everything needs to be perfect. No injuries. Everything needs to be perfect just to get a good season. But if we could take the good times out of Mowbray's era, this year has been shit. It has been a write-off. From if you take this out of the equation, today's performance, and also the 2 or 3 matches at the start of the season when we also put on a display similar to this. If we could get more of that, and if we can get the players to make that more likely and play this kind of football, then guess what? Then we could be in for an exciting season next season. But the question marks remain about who's going to come in. When you look at the down, yeah, you can't see it, but now I'm looking at the start 11, and the question marks about Armstrong, Rothwell. Who else do we have a question mark around? Bell, Harwood Bellis, Nyambe. 5 of those starting 11. There's humongous question marks about them to see if they're going to be here or not next season. And if we're going to bring in 5 new faces, then that's going to be 5 new brains to get around this mentality, that's around this football, which could be another transitional season. We don't want a transitional season. It's been a transitional season. You've been given multiple lifelines. You're like a cat with 25 lives. I don't know how you keep on keeping on, but you got it right today. If this is going to be more of the same as the season comes to a close, then fair dues. Let's end the season free scoring, free flowing, and of course a bit of energy, and look forward to a new campaign. But right here, right now, I'm going to sit on the bench, or not on the bench, on the wall, and of course look on to see what happens business-wise, activity-wise, if you are going to bring in a replacement for Adam Armstrong, or is he already there? Do we have the replacements in Armstrong in Brereton and Gallagher? What's going to happen with the Dak situation? Of course, Dak out for the best part of the season. We're going to miss that creativity as well. Is Rothwell staying? Do you have someone else in mind? Because realistically, I don't know if we have that sort of creative spunk in the under 23s to come in and fill that void, especially if you're pinning the hopes on Buckley, if you're pinning the hopes on Tyree Stolen. I don't think that's the answer. I think you'll need somebody to come in to provide that creative spark, and that could be and I know you like it, Mo, but you like to get the guys to come in that get people off their seats. You know, your Chappers, your Decarinos. Is there going to be another signing like that? Of course, we are excited about Pickering, but we also want to see some other faces coming in to relight our fire, relight the fire that burns within our chest, our heart, our crest. You know what I mean? We want to have an exciting season like this. Well, not like this, but like these performances here. But I'm very, very concerned as to what you're going to offer us next calendar year or next season, whatever you want to call it. Let's take a look back into the deep end here. Of course, the heat maps, as you can see, not really the best heat map, or not really the most familiar heat map. Of course, more sporadic this time around. Of course, Huddersfield having all the touches, of course, but again, worked in our favour today. Of course, Nyambe, look, a hot spot down here on the right hand side. He's going to be a key ingredient missed. We're going to probably strengthen the left hand side, which has been a concern for us for years, and then of course going to let the right hand side go to waste if Nyambe's not here. It's very the big old question mark on my head. It's like, what's going to happen next season? Is Nyambe going to stay here and he's going to see out the contract and leave for nothing, or is he going to sign a new deal, or are we going to sell him? There's three scenarios that could pan out. But yeah, the likelihood is we strengthen the left hand side with Pickering coming in, and then we go wonky on the right hand side. So it's of course Rankin Costello can do the job on the right hand side, further up the field. But yeah, it needs addressed. All these things need addressed, and hopefully. We're not going to be waiting for weeks and months after the season comes to a close to find out what the future is at Ewood. Let's take a look at it. Of course, you heard what I've had to say. What about the gaffer? Here's Tony Mowbray with his thoughts and feedback of the match.
I think we played against a team who allowed us to be at our best, really. I think a lot of teams have watched us early season and started restarts, kicking it off big centre forwards and kicking it wide, and for some reason Huddersfield today played to our strengths. I think we have to just find a way to play against all teams, really, and today they played to our strengths, and it's great that all three attackers scored goals and helped create goals for their teammates, and yeah, a bit disappointed with the goals we lost. Of course, to lose the goal right on half time could have been a real kick in the stomach for the team, but they recovered. We talked about winning the second half at half time, and we did that comfortably, and so I was pleased with the team. Yeah. One goal, I'm not sure which one, we played out right from the far corner, really, and popped it round them and through them and broke away in the spaces and squared it back, and it was a side foot in the empty net, really. And but yeah, listen, it felt like a game from the first 15 games of the season where we felt we were going to score against lots of teams, and yet this is a league, you know, with some good coaches in it, and teams have tried to, as every team does. You know, we've had some good results against likes of, not results, Norwich, good performances. Norwich away, I thought, you know, they battered everybody. They scored 7 against Huddersfield, Norwich, and I can see why. I feel we've got a pretty good football team, and yet moving forward the team have to find the answers. We have to find the answers to the different teams that we play against. You know, I think the biggest, if you look at Barnsley, for instance, a team that, you know, shouldn't be in the same category as Blackburn Rovers, and yet there they are, going to finish in the playoff places, won again today. It's, they have a system, they have a style, they don't change, they don't take chances, they don't play out from the back, they get it forward as quick as they can, they condense the pitch, they play very direct, but it works for them, it helps them win games. All I want to do is get a brand of football that allows us to play on the front foot and win it with our strikers' press, but also when teams push us back because they have good quality, or they knock a lot of long balls from goal kicks and turn us round, we have the quality to be able to build through their team, like some of their goals today. So we score transition goals, but we also score high pressing goals, and whatever the opposition do, we've got the answers, and that's all we're trying to do. Whether it's suffered a little bit second half of trying to adjust to trying to score more transition goals instead of high pressing goals, maybe, but I think I keep talking about the journey that we're on. The team will only get better, but we do have to make sure we try and keep the likes of Adam and Rothwell and the players that, you know, the contractual issues around at the moment are not easy for them young guys, and I think it's important for the club to keep developing and growing, to keep your best players if you can. Yeah, it's interesting, you know, what valuation there is of Adam. You know, it's, at the end of the day, the footballer's the footballer. If he, in his stomach, he wants to go and play in the Premier League, he wants to go and do it, he wants to do it now, we're not really in a position to stop that. I think my advice to Adam, sitting down with him, it would be that I think there is growth for him. You know, he has to ask himself, is he going to go to the Premier League and start in a team now and go and play 40 games and score 20 goals in the Premier League? I would suggest maybe not. He might be a sub who gets the odd game, and then you know, it's very difficult. My assumption would be that he should stay here, sign a good contract, enjoy playing every week, score another 25 or 30 goals, and just keep learning the game. Really, he's still a young boy. It's not as if his career is running away from him and the time's running down. He should still be wanting to play football. The reason he left Newcastle was because he wasn't getting enough game time, so he came on loan. And I think it's not for me to advise him. His parents and his advisors will advise him, but make sure you play football and keep scoring, and then when that big move comes along, you are in the team because they need what you bring, and you're not just another squad player in the Premier League side. I think Adam Armstrong is an amazing human being, a fantastic lad, a wonderful lad to work with every day, and he's really positive. I've given him the armband a few times this year because he's got an opinion as well. He loves football. He's got personality, and that's really important. And you know, I only wish Adam the best. But in my opinion, my honest opinion is, I think what would be best for Adam is to stay here for another year or two. Keep doing what he's done this year. Show everybody it's not a fluke, and then I know the right move will come, and he'll have so many choices. And but again, I don't want to cause any controversy with him. I don't want him to feel as if I would never try and bully Adam to stay and sign. You know, I think our working relationship is very strong, and I think he knows that I'm only here to try and help him get to be the player he wants to be in his career. And the only advice I would give, and I've told him, is that I think if he signs a new deal for us, there's no negatives, there's only positives, because if the right bid comes in, the club will sell. We're not here to chain you to Ewood Park. If the right bid comes in, you can go. Because if he knocks on my door and says he wants to go, this is the club for him, this is the deal, I will ask the owners to make that happen. No, I don't think they're necessarily attached. I don't think we've got players who are thinking, oh, if Armstrong's not signing, we aren't signing. I think there has to be a realism on what we've just been through as a football club. Our owners are Indian, and if you look at the lead story on the news all day yesterday was the condition of India and the COVID situation and the pandemic that is rife in that country. And these people, they pay everybody at this football club salary every month, and they send the money over. And I only ever want to support what's best for them, and my opinion at this moment is it's best to keep Adam Armstrong. But if Adam decides and his advisors decide that it's time to go, then we have to try and reinvest and make sure that we don't become a much weaker team. We got Adam for less than £2 million. This is why I push recruitment so hard. We have to make sure that we know if we take the money and Adam, because he isn't going to sign and he's going to go, we have to know where we're spending. And a bit like Brentford did, they lost their top goal scorer, Ollie Watkins, and they've now got the top scorer in the league, who came from, I know they paid a lot of money for him, but he came from Peterborough in League One. And so yeah, that's what the job is. You can't stop footballers developing their career, and when they're good enough and the phone rings, they'll go. And we have to be knowing where we're going to spend the money. It's been a tough season now, with total respect to Sam and to Ben Brereton. I think it hasn't, the numbers next to their name, and I know I've played them wide. Generally I've played a front three. I still want them to get in the box. I want them to narrow off. When we're attacking down one side, they have to be the second striker in the middle of the 6-yard box or in the box. And I thought Sam arriving today for his goal, Beza, I think it was good. They could have scored 1 or 2 more each. I think Adam could have scored another 2. It was good today that the team felt like we did early season, that we had a real goal threat, and I don't think their defenders would have enjoyed playing today against the speed of Armstrong, the power and strength of Gallagher, but also the non-stop running of Brereton, really, who just seems relentless, that he just keeps running in behind all the time and threatening the space. Silas and his agent was on the phone literally every second day the year before, because he didn't think he was getting enough game time. They wanted him to go out on loan, blah blah blah. Listen, I signed Brereton because I felt his quality, and his quality is there. I've talked about his maturity, really, and he's still a young boy. I would be inclined to think about Brereton. He's only going to get better from this point. Maturity, he still has to find that, but I think he can dribble. I think he can run with the ball. You're looking today, watching him running and people chasing him, and he's running away from them, and he's getting further in front of them, and I think he has got attributes that can help football teams. We just have to keep polishing him, really, and trying to add the goals and getting him into the areas where he's undoubted capacity to affect a football match, we have to get the best of it.
Meanwhile, what's been going on social media? Let's take a little look then, shall we? Of course, Lewis Hartley, Forever Vocal, said that's the type of play we have been missing. Back to using the same attack we had at the start of the season, which worked so well together, and it did again today. Good performance from the lads. Let's try and be positive for a change this week. We played well. Ben Smith said, hope so, although I don't think we are anywhere near as clued up as that. That was the response to something else. Blackburn Rovers said, this great game, but where has that team been all season? Adam Armstrong said this, happy about the result. Huddersfield played right into our hands and into our strengths, but same old defensive lapses that would have cost us against a better side. You can only beat what's in front of you. Big summer ahead for Rovers, exciting summer ahead. That's what we also got to build it. Of course, woohoo, we're safe. That's Chris Moss. Lewis Hartley said that is what we are missing. It's the same fella back there. Kicking off forward, we have Jordan Montagnanu, whatever. We smashed a team that are below us. We wouldn't say that's difficult, to be fair. All the players will be on an Insta now with their huge 3 points captions, but yet they've not been asked last few weeks. This win gives the clown another week in charge and covers up some cracks. He's staying, mate. You've just got to realise he's staying. They ain't going anywhere. Jordan Dickinson said this, well done, Tony Murray. Now you can leave on a high. Sacked in the morning, he reckons. Anthony Houghton said this, what a performance against the top side of Huddersfield, and congratulations for Tony for keeping us up, and hopefully we can secure mid-table and have a social distance party at Blackburn Rovers Blackburn Cathedral. Rovers chat said, anyone fancy being a guest? Well, I just gave that out there for everybody. Nice to see Travis looking a bit like his old self today. This was Mickey Delap. Still not in his fitness-wise, but a lot smarter with body and ball today. It would be priceless if he could take a long run up next season and come back all guns blazing. Of course, that's just some of the fans' opinions on Twitter. If you want to check out the brfc.com forum, that's where all the heat and the stuff is there. So make sure to check that badger out. But until then, what's going on elsewhere out in the Championship? Of course, a big win for Birmingham to put Derby right in the shitter again. But unfortunately, Barnsley beat Rotherham to keep Derby out of the drop zone. Earlier in the campaign, Brentford beat Bournemouth, of course, to give themselves a big old foothold in the playoff positions. But guess what? It's too little, too late, because Watford are promoted. They joined Norwich, who did beat QPR today 3-1 on the night. Forest against City ended up all square. Rovers smashing, of course, Huddersfield. Derby losing to Birmingham, Barnsley beating Rotherham, Coventry losing to Preston, Middlesbrough beating Sheffield Wednesday to, of course, are they down? One team that is down, it is Wickham. They lost 2-1 to Cardiff, and Watford did beat Millwall in the end. The table looks like this. I believe Wickham are down. 6 points are on the agenda for them still. 40, 43. Well, mathematically, they've still got a chance. They still have a chance. They need a massive goal swing if they're going to do it, but mathematically, they still have a chance. But ultimately, I think they're down. Sheffield Wednesday, 4 points adrift. They have a game against Derby. They need to beat their next game, which we'll have a look at that in a minute. Of course, Rotherham also got 2 games in hand. So Derby still in the old rat's nest right here, right now, to end the season. Let's take a look at Rovers are in 15th for the moment. A win for them in the final. Next week they could go up to 14th. Mathematically, we could go up to 11th. With a bit of a goal swing. So Derby, where are Derby? Derby taking on Swansea. That looks a difficult game, of course. Sheffield Wednesday against Forest. That's very, very winnable. I think Sheffield Wednesday have a chance. Rotherham taking on Brentford midweek. They're taking on Rovers. So you never know. They could win. They could beat us. You never know. I'll play the kids. Play the kids. Let's get rid of Derby. So Mill taking across Bristol City on Saturday, May the 1st. Sheffield Wednesday against Forest. Wickham against Bournemouth. Wickham have got scores 20 goals to at least stay up. Birmingham against Cardiff, of course. Luton Town up against Middlesbrough. Norwich against Reading. Stoke against QPR. Huddersfield against Coventry. Brentford against Watford. And Preston against Barnsley as well. Take a look. Go back again on that. The table, of course. Reading have 3 games left. They could go 71, 74, 77. So they still got a little bit of work to do. They could still squeeze in there. Reading take on Swansea. So they've got to beat Swansea tomorrow. That'll put them on 71 points to give them a bit of hope as well. But that's it, my boys. That's it. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy for a long, long, long time. First time in a long time as Rovers got the 3 points. And, of course, stay in the division. Next season, big, exciting season. We've got to back it. We've got to back the board, whatever decision to make. Of course, the rumour is Mowbray's going to stick around, but it could also change. We might see they might get a whole, a flea up their arse and go, you know what, we're done. We'll let you go. See you later. And then, of course, come in. We just don't know. But the vibe is Mowbray's going to stick around. We're going to back him. We're going to back Pickering. We're going to back the recruitment, and hopefully we get some new exciting players to back next season, as maybe we can build a season of belief and optimism. If we can play like we did today with this new style of play, whatever you want to spin it. But hopefully we'll we'll have a good summer, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully some new faces coming in. Hopefully we'll get the clarity on the players that still remain. But until then, though, I've caught a bit of a weird week this week. Of course, just the one game. That's of course Rotherham next weekend. We'll have a preview on that as well a little bit later on. Until then, though, I'll see you all soon. Mask up, 6 feet, and all that kind of stuff. Until then, I'm out of here.